All right, folks, well, we're just enjoying a little bit of breakfast. We're still out here at the old Murderers Creek Ranch where I've been volunteering for Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. For the core of the summer, I've been in and out of here doing some different things, but we are getting to the end of my time here at the ranch, and there's still a few projects that I would like to get done before I leave. So one cool project that got done a couple weeks ago is my buddy Scott came out. He's an electrician. Somebody at some point had remodeled the house and added some electrical outlets and some lighting. He came out, went through everything, made sure everything was good to go, and then he redid the panel so that way we can actually bring this generator out, fire it up, and plug into the house and light up the lights and the power outlets. There is actually no power out here. They did have an old generator that was here before, but it's now incapacitated. So all we do now is use this little Honda generator, but it's more than enough power for what we need in the house. So our first project this morning should be a fairly simple one. When this house was being threatened by wildfire last year, they tore off the stairs that went down right here off this deck because they didn't want to have basically a ladder for the flames to go up and against the house. But they would like to get them reinstalled. You can see that they're kind of sitting just off the side here off this old building. So I'm gonna work on that first and see if we can get these steps back attached so it's a little easier to get in and out of the house here. So in order to get some of these projects done, I did bring some stuff from my shop. I've got an impact wrench, a circular saw, drill, charger for those, and then a square and some clamps. Also brought a couple other little odds and ends, and plus ODF and W supplied me with some screws, and then they also had a bunch of wood already in one of the old barns, so that should allow me to get everything done today. So these stairs were hung on the deck before with some hangers, but they got pretty torn up when the deck got torn off. Plus some of these boards here split and kind of started to come apart. So I don't want to use hangers to put this back on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a 2x6. That is the width of the stairs, and I'm going to screw it into the back here, and then we'll use it to screw into the deck. I've also added some boards here and here just because, like I said, some of this has split out. Like right here, you can see this is all split out. And so I needed to create a new platform for the steps to go on. All right, folks, so that project was pretty quick and easy, and we've gotten it all done. I did have to put a little bit more gap in this top set of stairs than what's already in the other ones, but that's mainly because I had to add that extra board and I needed to be able to fill that space. But all in all, I think this will work. It's most of the stuff that I'm going to be doing today is temporary. I am assuming that they will, once they have more finances to work with on the house, they will be redoing a lot of this stuff, but for right now, it's just trying to get, some things working again. But anyhow, since this one's done, since we're done here, I'm going to move on to the next project I have for today. All right, guys, well, we're getting started on our next project. This old footbridge has seen better days, and it's our only way to get from the house over to the barns without walking through the creek. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the old timbers that are all rotted out off of here, and we're going to build some new supports on top of the existing main timbers and redeck the whole thing so that it's a little bit safer to walk across. right, guys, well, I think I've done everything I'm gonna be able to do today. I've got all the old deck boards off, and I managed to get all of the nails pulled out of the old beams. The downside is, now that I can really look at the old beams, they're in worse shape than I thought, so I'm gonna have to sure them up a little bit, and I've got an idea on how I wanna do it, but I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store and get some more hardware, and I'm gonna have to get some more tools from my shop. So I'm gonna have to actually pack up. I think I'm gonna pack up right now, even though it's like 4 o'clock, and I'm gonna drive the couple hours back to my shop. That way tomorrow I can do everything, get everything I need, and then try to get back up here and finish this project. All right, guys, well, we've got all the boards over here. We're getting restarted back on this project. I did go to town. I got the materials I need, or the hardware that I need to be able to sure up these timbers, and I got a couple extra tools too that help me along, mainly a big long drill bit that I was gonna need to be able to drill through these. So anyways, I'm gonna get started on this and see if we can get this project done today. All right, guys, so everything's moving along pretty good. Went ahead and got these main beams shored up by just sandwiching them with a couple boards and then putting some 8-inch galvanized bolts between them. So I think that'll add a lot of strength, and it's gonna give me something solid to screw the new crossboards into. Now, my original plan, before I realized I was gonna have to add some more strength to these boards, was I was just gonna put a top cap over the top of these boards and then use those metal spikes that I took out earlier to spike them into these main beams. But because they were a little bit more rotted, that's when I decided I wanted to go ahead and add these sandwich boards. But I thought I was still thinking about putting a top cap over it. But now that I've got the sandwich boards in place, or these extra boards in place, I really don't think I need to put a top cap, because now that I've got these outside boards, I've got something solid to screw these cross beams into. So I think that will be fine. So I'll just put those back in the barn. Fall in the water, dude. All right, so I'm gonna start getting ready to put the cross supports on. I'm gonna try to get this board as squared up as possible, so that way all the other boards lay on evenly and everything looks straight. It is gonna be a little bit of a challenge because this bridge is not level right now. Like, this side's a little sunken down compared to this side. So it is gonna be challenging to keep this thing straight all the way back, but I'm gonna do my best to, like I said, try to get this board as a good start for the rest of the boards. All right, guys, well, I've just laid all the boards out. I just wanted to see how everything was gonna look, make sure that everything was gonna look straight and not look all cattywampus. And I'm actually really happy with the way it's come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and start screwing everything down and getting this thing fully secured and done with. All right, folks, well, we're down to our last project. The bridge is done. I'm happy with the way that came out. So I want to get on to this last project so that way we can complete everything that I want to do for Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife and the volunteer program here at the Murderers Creek Ranch. So as you saw, there's a creek outside and it flows year round. That's called Cabin Creek. And then there's another creek just down the way that also flows year round, and that's Murderers Creek. So there's plenty of fresh water out here that is accessible to whoever's volunteering here at the ranch. But you don't want to go down there and just drink it because it could have bacteria in it and it could make you sick. So we need to filter that water first. So I have this system from Guzzle H2O. This is their built-in system. They actually have a couple different varieties of this. You can get one that's built into a pelican case where the entire thing is built in a pelican case, and then you can go down to a creek and be able to filter water down at the creek itself. Or you have their built-in systems which come with a carbon filter and a UV filter, and then you just have to supply some of your own plumbing parts. They do give you a few little hoses and ends, but you need to supply your own pump, which I do believe they have one available online from them. But I just happen to have this one around the shop, and a lot of these plumbing components and the jackery that I'm going to power it with are all of these items I had around the shop, and I assembled this there at the shop to bring out here. So real quick, to give you guys a rundown how it works, is you flip the switch on. That's just an AC-DC converter, so I can plug it right into the AC of the jackery. Or of course, now that the house has power, if the generator's running and they got the house powered up, they can plug it into an outlet. But that basically converts this to a DC, because this whole system is DC, the water pump is DC, and the UV filter is DC. So you flip that on, it will suck the water out of your dirty source. So I've got a bucket of water that I pulled from the creek. It'll suck the water up, goes through just a really basic screen here just to make sure there's no big chunks that will go through the water pump. Then it goes into the carbon filter, and that just removes any other finer sediment. Plus it helps with odor and taste, making the water taste better and not have an off odor. Once it goes through this filter, it then goes through a UV filter. And if you're not familiar with how a UV filter works, it basically alters the DNA of the bacteria so they can no longer reproduce. So if bacteria gets in your body, what makes you sick is the fact is they reproduce and just go wild and you get sick. So what this does is it alters their DNA. They no longer can reproduce, and so they just die off. So they're no longer a problem to you. So once that, it basically at that point, you just pump it into a clean bucket or source where you're gonna have clean water. So to kind of show you how it works, I've got that hose in. Like I said, we got dirty water here. So hose down in there, flip on the pump. The pump comes on, whoops. And then we got fresh water coming through, nice and clear. Really simple system. If you guys want to know more about it, definitely check out my description. Like I said, I've been using this system in my own van for 3 years now. It's been great. I love having the ability to filter water and basically knowing that anywhere I can find water, I have unlimited access. Well, good morning, folks. We are just out for a morning walk. It's our last morning here at the ranch. We'll be packing up here soon and heading out. I thought we'd come up here and just enjoy one last beautiful morning walking through this field we've been irrigating for the past 2 months. I've really enjoyed coming up here and doing that, and mainly just because it's just beautiful the way the sun rises up and highlights all the green and dried grasses. It's just gorgeous out here. Cool, crisp morning before the heat kicks in for the day. Yeah, it's just been a really nice way to start every morning, so really enjoyed that. Also really enjoy watching Ben. He just loves this tall grass, running through it and chasing birds and whatever other little smells or scents that catch his fancy. It's just been a good time. I'm definitely going to miss being up here. This is a beautiful place, and it's been great to be a part of it, you know, doing all the projects, rebuilding the bridge, fixing some repairs. You know, it's kind of neat in a way. I feel like I'm a part of the history of this old ranch now, and that's kind of a neat feeling. The ranch is part of me, and I'm a part of it now. But I do feel that itch that you get when you feel like you've been sitting somewhere too long and you need to get moving. And I'm excited to get started on some new adventures in the new rooftop tent that you guys have seen. Also, some adventures I've got planned for the van that will be big adventures. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below, and we'll catch you guys again outside.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be great outdoors, forever free.